She found a carving on an old bench. What she discovered changed everything. It was supposed to be just another quiet walk, a way to clear her head. But when 17-year-old Mia sat down on an old bench by the lake, she noticed something strange. Not just initials carved into the wood, but a series of hidden messages spanning nearly 2 decades. What began as a teenage curiosity turned into a journey through time, and a rediscovery of a love story no one knew had been written there. Until now, the bench had been forgotten by most. It sat at the far edge of Greenridge Lake, hidden under the reach of a drooping willow. The kind of place lovers might have once visited, back when the world felt slower. Mia, 17 and thoughtful, had always preferred the quiet parts of town. That day, she carried a tattered sketchbook and a head full of worry. School, her parents' divorce, the usual chaos of growing up. As she sat, sketching the peaceful lake in front of her, her eyes drifted down to the edge of the wooden seat. Something was carved there. Not just a single name or date, but many, almost like entries in a diary. D+M, June 12, 1972. She smiled today. 7:45 p.m. She didn't say yes, but she didn't say no either. October 74-inch. She said yes. August 14th, 1975 ring. Mia froze. These weren't just scribbles. They were moments. Glimpses into a life. A love story told one message at a time. Mia couldn't stop thinking about the bench. Over the next 2 weeks, she returned again and again, photographing the carvings, tracing over the worn ones with chalk, trying to read the faintest impressions. Some entries were joyful. First kiss right here. I almost tripped over my words. She laughed when I sang to her. Badly. Others were more bittersweet. Fought again. I hate how I love her. I waited here. She didn't come. And then the heartbreak. You left me too soon, my Marie. September 1989. Still yours. 1999 D. 27 years of messages. From falling in love, to losing it, to holding on to it, even after death. Determined to find out who D and M were, Mia turned to her grandmother, a lifelong Greenridge resident. After a few phone calls and visits to the local library, they found a lead. There had been a Douglas Whitmore, a retired carpenter. Quiet man. He used to be seen often walking to the lake in the 90s, always alone. He had a wife named Marie. She passed away suddenly from an aneurysm. Mia discovered he was still alive, living in a local assisted living center, now 82 years old. She arranged to meet him. Douglas, now frail but alert, greeted her with surprise. Mia showed him the photos of the carvings. His hands trembled. I never thought anyone would notice them, he said softly. That was our place. Marie and I met there when we were just kids. I carved that first note when I was 19. I didn't have money for gifts, so I gave her a bench full of memories. Each year, they'd return to that bench and carve a message, sometimes funny, sometimes romantic, sometimes grieving. Even after she was gone, he said, I still came back, talking to her, in the only way I knew how. Tears welled in his eyes as he whispered, now someone knows. That means she's not forgotten. Mia wrote about Douglas and Marie's story, first in her journal, then on a blog, and finally as a video tribute. The story went viral. Strangers from around the world wrote in, sharing their own bench stories, their own lost loves, their own carved initials. Soon, the town restored the bench, preserving every carving. They added a bronze plaque. D+M, 1972 to 1989. This was their place. May we all find ours. Douglas visited the bench one final time, escorted by Mia. He sat quietly, placed a rose beneath the plaque, and whispered, See? I told you someone would find us. We live in a world obsessed with big moments. But the truest love stories are written in the quiet ones, in whispers, in glances, or sometimes, in carvings on an old wooden bench. If this story touched you, give it a like and share it with someone who still believes in lasting love. Subscribe to Hearthside Stories for more heartwarming tales that remind us what truly matters. And in the comments, tell us about your bench, your story, your Marie.